Hey guys, it's your boy M.K.S, and for once I've got water instead of tea. Hope everyone's well. Um, Thought I'd cover some of my plans for today. Ideally, I would have woke up earlier and done some of my plans on paper first, but because I woke up late and then took the dog for a walk and all that sort of stuff and did a bit of cleaning, I decided I'd go straight to YouTube and talk about some of my plans for today. I know it's a bit more like a diary than most YouTube videos, but I know my channel's a bit different, so hopefully some people out there will enjoy it, preferably. But yeah, I thought I'd talk about some of my plans and goals. And as I've said before, like certain numbers remind me of certain things, like how when I plan my days, and also not that I'm very good at maths, but it's just the way I organise myself. Unfortunately, I'm not that great at maths, but certain numbers remind me of certain things. It probably sounds a bit like I'm an autistic savant, but unfortunately, I'm not. But yeah, so certain numbers like 26 reminds me of reparations for some reason, or think about reparations. So I hope to talk about things like that, like the case for reparations and the cause for reparations, or case for reparations, or that sort of thing. And also, because it's Saturday, I hope to talk about some of the things I stand for, but I hope to come to that. And hope to remember my train of thought, because I was going to say something I can't quite remember. But yeah, so I love to create social enterprise. I think that's what I was going to say. I love to create social enterprises which would support people like Indigenous people from the Americas to start their own businesses and things like that. So yeah, so NGOs and things like that. Sorry, I'm probably waffling, but anyway, I'm going to try and crack on with this list of my ideas and thoughts, and hopefully in the future I'll think of some stories or something different to cover, so it won't just be lists, and like try and mix up if I can, as I've done in the past. But anyway, this is going to be another one of my list videos about some of my goals for supporting Indigenous people and like reparations and things like that, and the cause for such. So here goes anyway. So number one, I'd love to support as many Indigenous people from all over the Americas to unite together and also start up their own startups and projects. I know I've talked about that before, but I hope to keep working on it, and then hopefully people with more experience and possibly a bit more money behind them, or again experience or knowledge in that area, can like sort of help with that idea if they think that's a good idea for charity and they want to be charitable. People who might be able to help Indigenous people from the Americas, hopefully people of colour around the world, and other people who want to see Indigenous people from the Americas do well. And I hope to talk about the case for supporting them, which I hope to come to. Number two, I hope to look at what Indigenous people from the Americas can learn and the reasons to support them, like the whys, hows, whens, wheres, and all that kind of stuff, and methods, and ways to support them, and that sort of thing, basically, as well. Whichever order you want to put it in. So yeah, so I hope to talk about those reasons to support Indigenous people, like they were there first, and Indigenous people from the Americas, they were there first, and they've been through a lot of effective holocausts and genocides, and that sort of thing. So I hope to come to that if I can get around to it. I mean, I'm not promising to cover these things, or part of me thinks I don't know if I want to make too many videos, because I don't want to go into people's notifications and that sort of thing. But if I hope it won't hassle them, or that sort of thing. But I would like to do as many videos as I could. Like, I would make videos pretty much all day if I could. But obviously, I would like to do other things as well. And I don't want. I'd love to know like how many videos is perhaps too many. But as I say, I would love to upload them, just because, as I said before, I'd love to do this as a career. So obviously, most people work at least, say, 8 hours a day. I assume so. I know nowadays probably not, but many people work at least, let's say, if they've got part-time work, they at least work 4 hours a day, or many people work 8, or maybe more than, many people work more than that. So obviously, if I want to do this as a career, like, I'd love to upload as many videos as I can, but again, I don't want it to be too overwhelming for notifications, so that's why I don't upload that many. And also, I like to do other things like writing and things like that. But yeah, so I hope to talk about, sorry if I'm waffling, but I'd love to talk about reasons to support Indigenous people from the Americas, mainly. Number three, I'd love to talk about what freedom means to me as much as I can. And again, I'd love to hear from other people as ever about what freedom means to them. And everyone's obviously free to comment. But yeah, so like, to me, I know freedom, basically, to sum it up very simply, is to me is like doing whatever you want to do without the fear of reprisal or repercussions, or not having to do what you don't want to do. So I have two sort of definitions for freedom. So I wish life was as free as possible, as few rules as possible, even though I say always trying to obey the law and be as legal and ethical as possible. On that note, number four, I'd love to talk about what I stand for, because it's Saturday, and as I said before, like, one of my patterns. I like to focus on certain things on certain days. So as a Saturday, I love to talk about things I stand for ethically, like anti-war, pro-peace, peace and love, making the world a better place, and that sort of thing. And also not committing crimes and being legal and ethical, in spite of some of my controversial ideas. Like I think a lot of people would probably, I still think my ideas would make the world a better place in many ways, but I suppose that's my opinion. Obviously, I'm bound to say that. But yeah, so like this group I've wanted to create for a long time, or certainly in the past, for people with things in common with me, like olive skinned people, what I call part olive skinned people, mixed race, and learning disabled people. And that's a bit controversial because a lot of people would say you shouldn't have groups with certain people, but I think if I did manage to set up that group and achieve my outlandish goals and dreams, like to encourage people from those groups I've talked about to not to smoke or drink or take drugs or to break the law, and always to try and be ethical as much as possible and treat other people as they wish to be treated and things like that. I think if I did manage to achieve that, I think the world would be a lot better place, a lot better of a place, or how you put it in proper English. Number 5, I'd love to talk about my goals for philanthropy, helping other people, again, making the world a better place, and fundraising in the future perhaps for Indigenous people from the Americas, and encouraging NGOs and charities like the Global Giving Pledge or other charities to support Indigenous people from the Americas and talk about what they've actually achieved for them, and different big companies and corporations like Pepsi or Coca-Cola, Apple, Microsoft, and companies like that, to sort of see which one, maybe even get them to compete with each other to see which ones can support the Indigenous communities the most, which I again hope to come to in further details in the future. But again, like to reward those companies that help them through helping them with their marketing and their PR and all that sort of thing. So obviously, hopefully, get them more sales as well, which I suppose is what marketing and PR is really all about, really, when it all boils down, or however the saying goes. Number 6, possibly if I get around to it, I'd love to talk as ever about my dreams about Serie A or Italian football generally, and possibly again if I get around to it. If not, then maybe I'll do it next week. But talk about some of the sports teams I like. I know I've talked about that in like football, but I thought I'd probably go into it in more detail, like list form and things like that. Number 7, again, like doing stuff about Celtic as ever. Again, if I get around to it. If not, then maybe next week. But mainly, I hope to focus on supporting Indigenous people from across the Americas as much as possible, about with their human rights, finances. Again, helping them start their own businesses, startups, and projects. Generally, helping more to get into singing or other such careers, and realize their aspirations and that sort of thing. That's my main priority, I suppose. Number 8, again, spreading peace and love and not hate or violence, challenging hate. Like if God gave me a choice, I'd never ever hate. Although I know there's lots of things I probably dislike or make me angry or whatever. But if I had the choice, I'd always, maybe there's things I dislike or even strongly dislike, but I never hate. Even like white supremacists or anything, I wouldn't really hate them back. Easier said than done. Like as I say, if God gave me a choice, to put it simply, as I say, I'd never hate anyone. Number 9, hope to do more writing, and again, I hope my writing will help in the future to make the world a better place. And I'd love to set up a publishing company that would help the groups I've talked about before, like what I call the 4 and that sort of thing. And number 10, I'd love to support Indigenous youth in Americas, in like media and all sorts of areas where they can work on their strengths and support them for future careers and growth and jobs and that sort of thing. And I think that covers everything for now. So hope it wasn't too bad or cringeworthy, but as ever, I'd love to hear what from you guys. So I'm out. Peace out.